G'day guys, welcome back to game number 3 in this show match that we had at the Asrock M8 Sydney Showdown on the weekend of September 15th. It was a really interesting previous game that we had between these two players. Of course, our Zerg up at the top right-hand side of Whirlwind here is currently sitting at a score of 1 against his opponent's 1. So we're here in number 3 where it is going to be the deciding game. It is Exile 5, Pig. And his opponent down towards the bottom side of the map here. He's, well, he had a really strong game number 1, and then game number 2 he decided to try something a little bit different, a little bit of mech coming out of LG-IM.MVP. Now mech, of course, we did mention it. There was in the upcoming patch that Blizzard have been speculating about, is that mech play will get a little bit of a buff, but not only just mech play in general, also sort of the usage of tanks is looking to be increased. At least that's what Blizzard wants it to be. Of course, a lot of people these days very unhappy with the state of TVZ. You go and look at basically any high level, any pro level TVZ these days, you'll see the very simple same kinds of things. You'll generally see the Terrans will get to 3 bases, and then they'll, or sometimes 2, it sort of depends how dedicated they want to be, but a lot of the time they'll go up to Marine, Medevac, and Mine, the old Winter Mine, and they'll basically just play off those 3 units, and you will sometimes see the Marauders come out if the Zerg is able to survive and get to late game. But of course the Zerg player themselves doing something very sort of standard, I guess, is to play with Mutiling Bane style. It's very rare to see differences in any kind of unit composition these days at the high level, just simply because of the fact that Marine, Mine, and Medevac is very annoying to deal with the other kinds of units. Now, of course, there were a couple of builds. I believe, if I remember correctly, there was a 2-2 Roach Hydra based build that a couple of players were messing about with, but from what I remember, that is a very kind of surprise build, and it is very rare to see that one work. But Pig's going to try out something different here today, and it is something that I have seen him do a few times in various ZvPs and ZvTs, is that he's going to go 3 hatch before the pool. Finally, we see the spawning pool coming down here inside the main base, and this means that he'll have an absolutely stunning economy once he gets it all going. He'll have a billion drones out, he'll have a really good basis for his economy and all of his production, meaning that through the mid and especially in late game, he'll have just a flourishing production, which means that, you know, he'll be able to continually switch, he'll be able to transition as smoothly as he likes, and it means that he'll have a much better state. But MVP just scouting out that the spawning pool is just finished up now. Either for MVP, that's either, wow, that's a little bit of a later pool and he's just sitting on 2 bases, or possibly he has another base over to the side here. So MVP should be able to scout that out in a moment, but Pig, of course, playing the odds, playing that his opponent won't want a 2 racks on this map. This particular map is very difficult to do a 2 racks Marine based play on, just simply because of the fact that there are 4 spawning locations. It's an extremely large map as well. The run distances are just so far, depending on where you want to put your racks. So it's very rare to see that. So a great decision by Pete to go for 3 hatch before pool. Obviously, there is a small period where he's a little bit exposed for, you know, possible very aggressive attacks, like maybe something a bit wacky comes out of MVP, but as we can see, on MVP side of the map, he's going very economical himself, picking up a 3rd command center very quickly here. He'll just want to finish up his wall, very similar to our Derelict Watcher game, where we saw MVP go up to a very quick 3 bases and set up his own economy as quickly as he could. So I would expect we'd see a very similar game to the one on Derelict. However, there are a couple of differences. Of course, the Zerg 3rd base is a little bit further away by air. Well, I suppose by air and ground, but as you can see here, it's not as exposed as if Pig were in this particular position here. If Pig was in this spot here, there's a lot of space to drop in. MVP can do all sorts of drops if he was in this position, but luckily for Pig, we're not going to be spawning there, so that gives him a little bit of leeway to expand in this direction, heading up towards the top left-hand side of the map, where he can put down his hatcheries. They'll be very far away from medevacs and various run-by kind of attacks that MVP might want to do. So it's a decent position for Big right here. He'll be probably very happy with the position that he's in right now. He's got 3 bases, he's going up to 46 drones, and things are all hunky-dory for the moment. But for MVP, he's not too bad himself. The old 4-time GSL champion, he's pretty good at this game, I heard. He's up to a total of 35 SCVs right now. Only a few standard sort of units are out at the moment. Just those few Hellions that have made their way out. They're going to burn down a creep tumor, which is actually a really nice catch there for MVP. But they'll just come along, they'll want to threaten this base here, want to threaten the drones, and obviously Pig will come across and defend that with his queens for now. But will he have enough is the big question we'll keep in mind, because MVP does have 6 of those Hellions out. And he can certainly do, certainly look towards some run-by tactics to try and burn down some of his opponent's drones. But for the moment, MVP content to expand. He's got his stim on the way, as we can see here. Factory, barracks, extra racks as well. We've got the double E-bays now cranking out the 1-1 upgrades here. We'll see them be... once they complete, that's when we'll probably see MVP move out. So the normal sort of timing for that, as we saw in Derelict on game number 1 on Derelict Watcher, the normal sort of timing for that is around about sort of the 11 to 11:30 minute mark. Sort of, that's your standard sort of move out time. And what, as we mentioned on that game as well, the normal Terran play is to try and stop your opponent's economy somehow, cut down some of these drones, maybe come in the back here and do some drops and sort of get some harassment going on the mineral line, or perhaps he'll just want to head up and head straight into the 3rd. Sort of, this is the sort of the difficult position of this particular spot that MVP's in, is that he can't just say, alright, I'm going to run straight up to this 4th, because that's actually a heck of a long way. We can see how far this goes just all the way along here. It's just so far for MVP to try and traverse across the map with and actually get some damage done. So what I would expect to see from MVP is possibly a drop into the natural and possibly some attacks into this 3rd base here. Other than that, I don't think we'll see too much harassment on the 4th, at least in the early game. So MVP continues to try and cut back on Pig's expansion with his creep. He's doing a reasonable job, but Pig's creep is already pretty far out. We've already got it on the high ground. This is actually a really key creep tumor to have up here, just to keep an eye on what's going on in this area. You want to make sure that the Terran is not able to get up here and set up a little bit of a fallback position with mines and things like that. So it's always good to have this tumor to keep an eye on if anything comes up that way. Also good to see we've got a couple of overlords just spread about for Pig to keep an eye on the airspace near his bases. But now with 4 hatcheries set up and also a 5th, a 5th is just completed as well, and the Spire on the way, things are looking really nice for Pig's production. So we'll probably see mutas now coming up. The Bailings are also going to start to grow in their number. They'll have their speed coming through very soon as well, but Pig's decided just to grab all of the mutas that he can as quickly as he can, along with the +1 to flyer attacks. But things will probably start to heat up now. We are approaching that 11:30 minute mark right now. The Marines have got their combat shields, they've got their stim as well, and they're going to start clearing out some of this tumor. Good spreads here from MVP to make sure that he is not easily taken by the Lings and the Banes of Pig, but it looks as if having to fall back, having to be very careful there as MVP. You do not want to push too far on this creep. You do not want to be heading into this sort of territory here where Lings can come around the back and surround you. You never want to get in that spot, because that can just basically, it could even end the game. If you lose a huge group of Marines and mines like this, it can, Hellions as well, it can really cost you. So MVP making the wise decision to move back for now. The muta count of Pig continues to grow. We're now up to a total of 14 mutas up in the air for him. And with the creep spread still pushing on, we'll probably see Pig look to maybe head in for an attack very soon. We'll find out, because MVP is very solid here. Lots of Widow Mines are out. We've got a huge amount of Marines as well. Their 1-1 is done. 2-2 is also on the way. And in fact, Pig just decides to dive inside the main base. 1 turret down. E-bays are exposed. All the production is also exposed as well. Decides to go for one of the reactors, finishes that one up, and then heads out of there as quickly as he can. But MVP is, as we said, I don't know, like these positions, I don't know why I've never really thought of it before, but these positions make it very awkward for the Terran player. Pig will continue to harass here. He's coming in, trying to pick off these turrets before they get set up yet again. MVP with, he's not going to rebuild that reactor apparently, but is going to throw down a couple of extra racks. His 2-2 is just about done, around about a minute away, and then that will be ready to go. But Pig where is his Baneling speed? That's what I'm wondering right now. Has not picked that up. It's either he's decided to skip it for some reason in favor of something else, but I can't actually see what that something else is. Like, maybe it could be like a faster hive or something, but I mean, he hasn't even gone down that direction just yet. There it is. Picks up centrifugal hooks, and it is going to be very, very late here. And that, you know, we'll see. We'll see if that costs him. It could very well may, but here we go. The creep spread is still very far out. We've got groups of units across all sides here. For Pig, diving in from all directions. Come the Link, come the Banes, and the mutas are now going to come through and sweep up the rest of the units. And that is a pretty damn good battle here. Despite not having his Baneling speed, Pig is able to work his way through and clean up a huge amount of those Marines and the Widowmines that were there as well. Of course, the medevac count remains high, up at 7, but I mean, that is just a that is a decimating attack there from Pig. And now MVP is going to go ahead with the drop up towards the top side here. Will it be able to get some damage done? We'll find out, because it is going to head in there. Too many spine crawlers, I would think. Yeah, he's going to back out for now, but MVP is going to have a little bit of trouble here with this drop, because the mutas are on the way. Here come a couple of drones even, and it looks as if MVP, no cancel on the hatchery. Not to worry, I guess, for Pig, because he's already got a bank of 1,000 minerals and 1,000 gas to boot. But as you can see, the muta count now still continuing to climb. We're up to a total of 24 mutas out of the air for the Australian Zerg player. He's now starting to crank out the Lings and the Banes again as well. Baneling speed is finally finished up, which really, really helps out Pig for the next battle. It's just kind of funny to think about the old 16-minute Baneling speed, but I'm sure he'll be a little bit unhappy with the situation that happened there. But not to worry, he's now finished it up, and he'll be back into a good position to be able to roll on top of all of those Marines as quickly as he can. 17 plus 11 Banes will be out very soon. MVP is third base mining quite nicely, but is there a potential for a fourth? He's setting up another command center here. His 3-3 is also on the way. Beautiful spreads through the middle here from MVP. He's got Marines and mines all over the place and is just in a gorgeous spot, but unfortunately, Pig is snaking his way around, and it looks like he is going to go in for a little bit of a base trade here. I'm a little bit surprised that Pig has decided to go for this. Widowmine's dropping out, going to get some really big hits going. MVP, what is he going to do? He has to stay, or does he go? That is the big question for the rest of his units in the middle of the map. The Baneling's rolling through. Mutalisks doing huge amounts of damage, and MVP has decided it's go time. He needs to trade as best as possible here, scanning ahead to clear out any Baneling landmines. The Marines now charging through. Their 3-3 is almost complete, but I'm not sure if it's going to finish. The mutas are inside the main base, doing a huge amount of damage. MVP's production is in jeopardy. The SCVs are also being cut down as they attempt to retreat. MVP has been able to get a lot of damage done, though. Massive Widowmine hits here on the Banelings of Pig, but the Marine count has already been destroyed. There are only some Widowmines left over here for the Terran player. A few of the Marines will be there as well. Drones are just drilling through. Will they be able to survive? It looks like the answer is yes. But Pig, I think he has done enough damage here. MVP now down at 112 supply, coming in to try and get some turrets up and running, but Pig has just got too many mutas, and he can sacrifice them right now, because back at home, the Widowmines are being taken out by some Banes and some Lings, and it looks like MVP is going to fall here in game number 3. GG, says the 4-time GSL champion. XR5 Pig able to take a 2-1 victory over MVP at the M8, the Asrock M8 Sydney Showdown up in Sydney. Hope you all enjoyed the cast. Catch you all next time.